Hi there, it's Samantha, and today I'm going to talk to you about my leadership philosophy and kind of reflect on my perspectives and aspirations and how I feel they affect me as a leader. So, just as a refresher, I'm a veteran and I work with veterans. That is definitely its own beast. It's very important to have a dominant personality and be able to sympathize with people, but not, I guess, get too wrapped up in what's going on in their lives because you need to be able to focus on getting them the help they need. So, this is where the fact that I'm able to differentiate comes in handy because I'm able to be unbiased and really see something um, from outside my own perspective, outside their perspective, and really try and see it from out of the box as a whole. Attunement is something I am still working on. I am not the greatest empathizer, but I am working on it. I think it's very important to really see where someone is coming from to be able to help them. So that is a work in progress. My perspective on leadership definitely comes from the fact that I think it's very important to have everybody feel appreciated. When it comes to looking for a job for me, it's all about the work environment. And it's not necessarily about someone coming up to me and saying, I appreciate you or anything of that sort, but it's of the whole work environment and how everybody gets along, with the boss, with each other. A great story that I have actually was from an interview I did a while back with a company that was out in Tampa. And the general manager had an amazing working relationship with his employees. I think he had about 270 employees, something like that. Anyway, so he had a daughter and he only took off one day of work. He took off on a Monday. And it was so funny talking to him because he pulled out his phone to show me all these pictures. While he was gone for that one day, his workers painted his entire office pink and there were streamers and pink balloons and he just thought it was amazing and he loved it and it was something that they were able to appreciate together. And when I met him, he actually still had a pink office, which was about 2 months later. So I thought that was really amazing, that kind of work relationship that he had, and I truly valued that about the workplace. And if it wasn't for being in Tampa, I probably would have accepted the job offer. But going back to the original part there, it's it comes to the fact that they felt that they were in a safe environment, that they were able to be that way with their boss, and then they were still able to maintain a good working relationship and get the job done. So anyone that knows me knows that I am big into reading articles and referencing, and I think that is a big way that I stay unbiased with everything. You can actually see some of my books up there. Some of them are about leadership, some of them are about working specifically with veterans, some are for working with animals because I do a lot with animal rescue. But one of my absolute favorite things to reference when it comes to working with other people is the five love languages. I think that the five love languages are beneficial in not just intimate relationships, but also when it comes to personal and professional relationships. It's a great way to help people feel appreciated. Knowing their love language is a great way to know how to make the most of getting your appreciation across to somebody. It makes them feel happy, it makes them feel wanted and needed, and in return, they get a lot more done at work. They want to be productive and they're more willing to work in a group environment. So, the five love languages are words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and receiving gifts. I have read this book many, many, many times, but I was very excited when Gary Chapman and Paul White actually came out with their new edition, which is the five languages of appreciation in the workplace. It is the same as the five love languages. It kind of goes a little different. Obviously, it's now tangible gifts, and it talks more about what falls under that, whether it be a gift card or time off from work, maybe a little framed something that they can put on their desk. But the biggest change is physical touch, because it's a very iffy situation, especially in our culture where everything is so sexualized. For me, example, I cannot stand being touched by people. So someone that came up and put a hand on my shoulder would not be taken the same way as, say, my boyfriend, who absolutely loves to embrace people. He's the hugger when he meets someone new, and which makes it very interesting for us in our relationship, because it's very hard for me to show those kinds of affections. But point being, it's not something that I would be someone in the workplace that would take as an appreciation. So knowing that a handshake is not going to make me feel good as compared to maybe a thank you or a recognition in a meeting, it's good to know those things about your coworkers and about the people that are working under you, because you're able to really appreciate everybody in a way that makes them feel good and be able to work in a group environment. I think that it's very important to recognize the strengths that people have as well as their weaknesses. And I think a good way of doing that is to encourage self awareness in the people that you work with. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, but knowing my weaknesses allows me to look for those strengths in other people and encourage them to really shine in those areas, because I know it's somewhere where I'm falling short, and I'm able to appreciate them for making up for that in me. And the same as where I have strengths that other people don't, and I'm able to help them shine in there. So you've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. Be a better person today than you were yesterday. And a lot of that comes from constantly learning, learning from the people around you, learning from yourself. I like to spend my evenings thinking about my day, and what could have gone better, what could have changed, and really what went great. So I think if everybody could just have a little bit more self awareness, and that we could appreciate each other a little bit more, we would have a better working environment. So thank you for listening today. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks.